What's up, YouTube? So in this video, we are gonna be looking at the Miami Dolphins free agents. Now that the offseason is upon us, the season's unfortunately over for us. I talked about this a little bit during the season, but I want to take a look at it again now. We have probably different opinions than we did halfway through the season on some of these players, but before we get started, I'd like to let my dude Bly from Phins Huddle have the floor.
What's up, guys? My name is Bly from Phins Huddle. I have my own YouTube channel over at Phins Huddle on YouTube. You guys can follow me at Twitter at Phins Huddle. It's Bly at Phins Huddle. You can just call me Bly or at Phins Huddle. Doesn't matter either way. Um, but glad to join you today. Let's jump into it, man.
All right, cool. So starting off at quarterback here, Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is the last year on his contract. Of course, we still got Tua for 5 years. That just is what that is, and I don't really even care about Jake. But do you think Ryan's even gonna still be playing, or do you think he might retire?
Um, that's one I've been thinking about a lot. I'm not sure if he'll retire. He's had a lot of fun with it. It seems like this year. I almost think he would want to give it another go, but I don't think he'll do it with the Dolphins. Honestly, I think
Nope.
he'll want to go somewhere where he can compete really for a starting job because he knows it's pretty much he's the backup in Miami now. Like
Yeah, and I don't.
unless he does something amazing in practice, like consistently, and that's the problem with Fitzpatrick is his consistency.
Yep.
So
Or if something, God forbid, happened to Tua, something like that.
yeah, definitely, yeah, obviously that one, but
Um.
you can't count on that one when you're signing a contract.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, one interesting spot too, just because they're not going to be drafting at a particularly great spot, is actually New England for him. Um, I think I think they'd be more likely to go for a veteran this year. Maybe him, Matt Ryan, or Stafford.
Oh, and he definitely has the moxie to do it,
Hmm.
and the fact that he has played for every other AFC
Yep,
East team, he would have that vengeance factor in six
absolutely.
games out of the year. So
Yep, and I think it'd be an instant upgrade over Cam Newton. To be fair,
definitely there, he at least make some throws.
yes, they can do stuff other than just run the ball.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but overall, I think the quarterback situation is relatively okay. If we don't get Ryan Fitzpatrick back, we definitely got to address backup quarterback at the very least.
very much
Um,
so. I don't think Jake will be here next year, so we
no,
definitely, and I don't think any of us Finn fans really want to say that's our backup anyway.
no, and we do have Sinet. He was on the active roster uh, this weekend. Let me just go down to the practice squad. For some reason,
Gotcha.
they got it in dead cap because it's sort of similar in range, but obviously he's not actually dead cap weight. Where are you? You're at the top. Yeah, Reed Sinet. I don't think he's our long term backup either. To be fair, um, and he's only got a 1 or 2 year deal. So I'm trying to either draft a guy late. I don't have any particular names I'm looking at yet. It's too early for that.
Yeah, a little early for that. I would say I might would go as early as the second or third, probably third as early. We don't have enough second round picks to take. If we had three like we did last year, did we have three second rounders last
Yeah,
year? If we had three like that like we did last year, I could see maybe spending one of those on one of those maybe QBs. But maybe as early as third round to get a decent guy is just the only reason I would go that early.
I'd probably wait till day three, probably like round four. The backup quarterback class doesn't look too bad yet. I don't have a particular person in mind yet, but because I kind of feel like if Tua goes out like for the season, we're just kind of done at that point.
Kind of done anyway,
But if
more
he
than
goes
likely.
out for
But
like a game or two, I wouldn't mind having a guy who can just keep us afloat at least with this defense.
yeah,
So I think we're pretty good there.
I want to be a little bit higher, personally thinking is like third roundish because it'll bring in like that competition. What we didn't do with Tannehill a lot of
I
times,
agree.
put somebody behind him to drive him. Now, obviously, you don't want somebody to that he's got to look over at every time, like Fitzpatrick was pretty much like, oh my God, they're going to bring him
Yep.
in. But at the same time, during training camp and everything, you want him making sure he's better than that guy, like
Yep. Yep.
not
Absolutely.
just sitting pretty in a starting position.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and take a look at running back. Unless you got anything else to say about QB.
Now we're good on QB.
Running back, I think this is pretty straightforward. I still want to probably draft a guy to just upgrade this position. But to me, Breida and Washington can both go. I don't care about them at all. And Perry and Bowden are more receivers, but
Yeah, they list those guys as running back. One thing I definitely would like to see is Gaskin and Ahmed back next year. I think
yep.
they deserve a good chance. Breida had flashes here and there, but at the cap space, because you're probably gonna have to give him at least that again.
Yeah.
Maybe not. If you can get him at what we're paying Gaskin, then go for it.
I don't know about that only because how many running backs are you going to carry
True,
realistically? Because we
true.
got Laird under contract. I'm not a big fan of him, but he's at least a okay backup. And we're going to have Gaskin and Ahmed, and I'm trying to draft somebody to go with him, to go with those two.
Yeah,
Particularly someone probably with a little bit more power to kind of offset what they're doing.
yeah. I like Laird pretty good, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they trade him for a pick
If
for
they
the
can
up.
get any kind of value out of that, I'm here for it.
Yeah,
If
and
there's
it's not
someone
that he's
interested,
bad. He's just not, there.
no,
He's
no, no,
not
no.
that guy at all. He can come in and get you a couple yards here and there,
Yeah,
but he's
and he's an
he's.
okay receiving back as well. But
Hmm.
at that point, I'd rather have Gaskin do that exact same thing, or
Yeah,
Ahmed.
yeah. So I would like to see Gaskin, Ahmed, maybe as like Gaskin and Ahmed as your third down backs, so to speak, your pass
Yep.
catchers, your zone run guys, your
Mm-hmm.
shotgun run guys,
Absolutely.
and then yeah, we need somebody to run. We need a goal line back.
I
Not
agree.
not exclusively a goal line back, but we need a back that can be a goal line
Yes.
back.
Especially because we did release Chandler Cox, so we no longer have a fullback on the roster, which I'm actually kind of okay with, to be honest.
I like having a fullback on the roster. Um, if you using
Yeah, and we
and we
really
didn't
didn't.
we didn't like we didn't line up in those kind of formations. We would rather have three tight ends on the field than to have two tight ends and a fullback. But
Yeah. To me, I'd rather like. Here's the thing: if you can get someone like a Charles Clay who can give you some value at tight end as well, uh, then I'm cool with that. But if you're just a straight up fullback, you better be amazing. Like you better be blocking everybody, or it's not worth it to me.
I
Like
got you.
you better be making Pro Bowls every year because you're just wasting cap space to me otherwise.
That's fair because they don't get the ball much or anything. But I mean, if you use them, I'm trying to think of the team that uses their fullback a lot. New England, a
Yeah, New England.
last couple
Yeah,
years,
yeah,
not
yeah.
this year. Hitting them out of the backfield, you get those easy goal line touchdowns and stuff with them sneaking out if they can catch and do all of these things. But yeah,
And
I would agree they need to show up and show out to
and
be a
they
good fullback.
And they seem to like to put Christian Wilkins out there at fullback quite a bit. Even when we had Cox, we mostly used Christian Wilkins at fullback more anyway.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, that's my dude though, so I'm
I
not mad
love
at
Christian Wilkins.
that. That's the guy I started like pretty much collecting him for my cards like right after Minka screwed us. Yeah, I had a couple Minka cards and then
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha. You got anything else on running back, or do you want to move to receiver? Of course, we
Let's
got
move to
Plains.
receiver. Of course. Yeah, let's move to receiver, my favorite position.
Gotcha. Um,
and we can
So
start some fires because we're
yeah,
gonna fire some people.
yep. Devontae Parker and Jakeem Grant, they're here for a while. I ain't trying to do nothing with that. I think they're good to go. Um, I mean, if we can trade Grant, I wouldn't actually be that upset about it, depending on
Yeah,
what kind of value.
I'm down with getting rid of Grant. I wouldn't cut him to
Nope.
eat the cap. For that matter, just keep him for. I hate to say punt return because he doesn't catch that well either. But if he catches it, it definitely can go to
Yeah.
the house. But so I'd keep him for that at least. But I mean,
Yeah, but if
5 mil a year is a little expensive for a punt returner.
I agree, but at the same time, I think he brings enough to you to not just cut him. If you can find a way to trade him, do it.
Yeah, find a way to trade him, definitely. Or he's a veteran guy, so if you have to keep him, if you can't get a good asset for him, if you have to keep him, I just don't want him to be the starter.
Nope.
Like I would like if somebody goes down, your speed guy, our next speed guy goes down, then Grant steps in. Great, like at least we got somebody that can still open the field up.
So I'm gonna scroll up a little bit so we can see Perry and Bowden here because they're receivers. They play a little bit of running back, but they're really receivers. And I think Bowden is gonna be that guy you're talking about, our number one speed guy in my eyes.
Do you know what his 40 time was by chance?
Not off the top of my head, I don't know,
Okay.
but he's pretty quick. I'll say that, and he
Gotcha.
can
Yeah, oh
catch.
yeah, you can see it. He has, regardless of what his 40 is, he has game speed.
Absolutely.
And we've seen guys in the NFL that have that 4.4 speed, 4.5 speed that just don't get it
Yep.
done on the field. Like you're not running away from guys on the field in full padded and suited up. Then it doesn't matter what your 40 time was.
Yeah, yeah. So, you trying to keep Matt Collins? Because I'm not.
No, and I like Mac is the bad thing. Like personally, I like Mac. Not he's
Yep.
he doesn't produce. He doesn't. There's too many times I saw him drop the ball, and now given a lot of times he was able to make up for the mistake. But when you're a pro receiver, we don't need 3 drops in a game,
Yep.
like 2 drops in a game. Like I can accept one; it's gonna happen, but that also shouldn't almost be one every game either. That should be
Nope.
one every couple of games.
Yep.
I played receiver in high school, and one of the main things I prided myself on was making sure to catch the ball. I catch every ball. It don't matter if I take a hit, whatever. I catch the
Yeah.
ball every time, and would get mad at myself for dropping one ball for the whole week of practice. So like these are pros. I was in high school, so that I expect more than
I
that.
I feel you. You would think it by the time you get here you could catch, but plus to me, and this is just how I feel about receiver. I think letting him go. One, I don't want to invest in that much money in him for the production he gets, but also I think he's kind of redundant a little bit in this offense because we already have Devontae Parker and Preston Williams as our two big-bodied receivers, and we'll get there in a minute. We have three great tight ends I feel really good about. Um, so I think having another big body guy makes less sense than going to get a nuanced route runner who can create space
Yes.
because we don't have that on the roster at all.
Not at all. Matt Collins, yeah, I would definitely, unless you could get him super cheap.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. If he wants to do like veteran minimum, then I'm cool. I'm,
yeah, I mean,
I might be cool with that and put him on the practice squad or something.
yeah, just as in case something happens, who knows what happens with COVID
Preston
going into the next year and everything. So
and definitely questions on Preston's health as well, for sure.
Preston hasn't showed us he can stay healthy yet. Hopefully that gets better.
Yep, and same thing with Grant
Parker
and Parker.
Parker can't stay healthy.
Yep.
Um,
Albert
Grant,
Wilson too. If depending what we do with him, he can't stay healthy either.
yeah. So I mean, it this one's gonna surprise the fans. But it would not surprise me if this offseason we trade Devontae Parker.
It wouldn't shock me. I wouldn't be upset
He
about
was
that.
not available for our biggest games,
And
and there were certain games that he just didn't show up in.
I agree. I wouldn't be shocked and I wouldn't be upset if both of these top two guys were gone next year.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me. Parker, I wouldn't be upset, so to speak. I like Parker.
So do I.
He has the skill set. He can run routes and everything. It's just you got to be consistent in this league, and so I don't know that. I mean, I would have to think more on whether I want to get rid of Parker. Because right
Yeah,
now, I would say
I don't want to
no.
get rid of him. I don't want to get rid of him, but
Yeah,
it wouldn't
right now,
surprise
I
me.
would say no, but it wouldn't surprise me, especially if they can get something like a second round, third
Yep.
round for him. Like,
And we also kind of talked about it a little bit before we started recording with the Tua situation. If we were going to draft a quarterback like first or second round to possibly replace him,
yeah,
that's not a decision I would make. But if Brian Flores does it, I'm in full support. Same thing with if they trade Devontae Parker. I'm in
exactly.
full
Yeah,
support.
I would be. It wouldn't surprise me, and I would back it up
Yep.
100%. I don't see a reason not to at this point.
Honestly, unless he like goes and trades like Christian Wilkins for like a seventh round pick, I'm pretty much gonna back him on pretty much anything he does.
Yeah, yeah,
He'd have to do something
definitely,
egregious.
definitely. So like, and it also, and guys, this may surprise you as well. Preston Williams wouldn't surprise me. There's two
Nope.
seasons down, and his stock, like, all right, let's say he comes back and he gets hurt again. Right now, his stock would be higher
Yep.
as far as what you could get out of a trade pick, because is it a guarantee he would get hurt? No.
Nope.
And his upside is really good. So a desperate team out there may be willing to give you a decent draft pick. And this was an undrafted guy for us. So
Yep.
if somebody offers the right thing to Flores and Greer, they're going to take it
Yeah.
for Williams. He hasn't produced anything, but mainly because he's been hurt. And that's not his fault necessarily,
Yep.
but that's the way the NFL goes, guys.
And also one thing I will say too, because we gotta talk about it with players we don't like as much and people we love. Preston Williams has problems catching the ball a lot too. Sometimes people don't
At
want to talk
times,
about it, but it's the truth.
you know what kills me with receivers, man? Hands are supposed to do this. Like
Yep.
any young receivers out here,
Yep.
practice this. Practice this right here. Find the nose of the ball and look it into that. Bam.
Yep. They
And
always forget the basics.
it like wraps itself, right? I
Mm-hmm.
see these guys go out here. Mac Hollins is one of them. Preston Williams is one
Trying to
of them.
body catch.
Isaiah Ford yesterday. Oh my God, he did it at least 3-4 times.
Yep.
Go up, and the ball's right here. Right, the ball's right here. This is where you want to catch the ball, and they try to jump and try to catch it in the breadbasket. That
Yeah.
is not the way to catch a football. It's going, if it doesn't land here, it has to land perfectly in here to catch it that way.
Yeah.
If it hits your chest, it is now a very hard ball to catch.
Yeah.
Grant does it. That's how Grant bobbled that crossing pattern during the Raiders game. That's how he bobbled it. He's trying to catch it in a pocket here instead of turning his hands down and catching it.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Jakeem Grant, he drops balls in a lot of different ways, to be fair.
Very true, very true. But what I mean by that is a lot of
Yeah,
times
yeah,
he's
yeah.
getting to his chest, and it's because he's triangling
Yeah,
his hands
absolutely.
to get to the ball. That's what you practice. That's what the jugs machine is for, is how to get your hands in that position several different ways. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
and that like and it's not only the Miami Dolphins. That
No.
bugs me every single
It's league
NFL
wide.
game I watch.
It seems to be league wide that players are just forgetting the basic fundamentals, like the basic fundamentals of doing that to catch a football, or get your hands inside if you're a lineman,
Hey,
or
Austin Jackson, first step inside, guy. Come on now. Why is your first step
they teach you that in
outside?
Pee Wee, man. They
Like,
teach you
come
that in Pee
on,
Wee.
guy. I never played lineman, and I know that.
That's a very basic. But you're a receiver. You've blocked before. You know to not even do that as a blocking receiver.
Yes. Why is your first step to the outside? Don't lead. You just gave him everything.
Yeah.
He can go right to the inside. At very worst, you want, if they're gonna beat you, you want them to beat you on your outside shoulder.
Yeah, because that allows the quarterback to potentially step up.
And if you're a wide receiver, that allows the running back
Little bit-
to go behind your back, around you. They have to go. If that defender has to go around you to the
Yep.
outside, then they can cut inside or something. But you make them go around to your outside. That's what you're forcing all day long.
Yep.
It kills me.
Yep. And here's the thing too: if you have a blocking running back on the play, if you're allowing him to go to your outside shoulder, then the running back can move forward away from his quarterback, so he's not right in his quarterback's lap when he goes to help that block. Now,
Yeah.
granted, a lot of running backs don't do that anyway. They stay right next to their quarterback, and it drives me nuts. But
Yeah, that's one thing I was pleased with Gaskin this year.
yes,
I did a lot better in pass blocking
yes,
this
he
year.
did. That's actually one thing I like from Laird a little bit too. That's one of the things I did forget to mention. He is a decent blocker.
I don't think that the other guys are necessarily bad at it. I don't think they had enough reps at it.
No, they didn't. And that's another thing we got to talk about a little. We forgot with the running backs too. None of them can stay healthy. That's a thing.
Yeah. I like Gaskin's chances to stay healthy a little bit better. Well, he wasn't hurt last year, was he? He played all year, didn't he?
Yeah, but he
I
wasn't
know
the
he didn't
starter.
start all year, but he was a fourth round pick,
He was a seventh round pick.
seventh round pick. Yep. Yep, seventh round pick. Yeah, that's oh my goodness. So yeah, we didn't expect him to do anything
No,
last
no,
year.
no, 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 not at all. But yeah, that's a thing. You good to move to?
Injuries though is hard to call on too. It's football, so
Yeah, I mean injuries are gonna happen, and like look at like Stafford. Like he was being called injury prone like after his first 2 years, and then despite how bad that team was, he didn't get hurt again until what last year, like
yeah.
where he couldn't play.
And it got to a point where like I think he was so upset with being called that, my man, he went and
Yeah.
like played with broke ribs or something last year,
Oh
or
yeah.
something wrong with his neck last year. This year he played with broke ribs.
Yep.
I was like, Jesus
Yep.
Christ, man,
Tough as
just
nails.
go sit down.
Yep.
It's okay, you're a millionaire already. Just go sit
Yeah.
down. You're not fighting for a contract.
No. He might be.
He is now. I mean, this year he
Yeah. Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
but
You good to move on to tight end?
yeah, last I wanted to ask you about Albert Wilson and Alan Hearns. What do you feel about those two guys as
They
far
can
as
go.
receiver?
They can go. I want them gone. Alan Hearns, I didn't like signing Alan Hearns. I liked him in Jacksonville. I don't think he's that guy anymore. And Albert Wilson, that $5 million ain't worth the value he brings. So, if we can find a way to trade him, I'm cool with that. But again, I ain't trying to eat that $5 million in dead cap either.
Yeah, yeah. If you get a good enough trade, then yeah, he may be a. Hey, the guy may very well be Albert Wilson, Jakeem Grant, and Lynn Bowden as our speed guys next year.
Yeah, that very well may be the case. But either way, I want to get a
I
nuanced
would
route
I
runner.
would take I would like Albert Wilson as far as like if you were gonna pick between the two, Grant and Wilson, I would
Yep,
like Wilson for the fact of
he can catch.
helping that and helping out the young guys running routes. He's a better route runner than
Yes,
Grant is.
yes, he is.
He's a very good. No, I won't say very good. He's a pretty good route runner.
He's better than Grant. He's better than most of the other people on this roster.
Yeah, outside of maybe Parker, and that would be arguable. So,
Yeah, that would depend on the route.
yeah, I would agree with that. All right, yeah, let's go to tight ends, man.
So luckily we have all three of them at least in 2021. Um,
Nice.
Shaheen just got an extension, so we at least got him to 2022. I like that.
And
Um,
that was a good contract sign too.
yep, he's a fantastic blocking tight end, and he gives you at least a little bit of value in the pass game. So I like that a lot. I
Smythe picked up the pass game this year. Like
Yes, he
nothing
did.
big, nothing big, but you don't always need a Mike G.
No,
You need the guy just to catch it in the flats and take it 7 yards. So
yeah,
you need
and
that sometimes.
and it's an entertaining 7 yards because you guarantee he's gonna run someone the fuck over too.
Agreed, my man. I love that when Smythe catches the ball. He lowers his shoulder. He looks like he's gonna go out of bounds at first, and then he just
Yep,
turns up and gives all the juice that he has into one person. Bam!
yep.
Like bam! damn, I'm gonna go down with you, but you about to eat this shoulder pad.
Yep. And Gesicki, top priority, I think, next year is re-signing him. If we can sign him today, let's do it.
I'm gonna disagree a little bit on that. I need to see the price. Mike
True.
G disappoints me in one way and one way only.
Blocking?
No, route running. He he leaves a lot to be desired in the route running department. His advantage in the passing game is that he's big, tall, and can jump and can catch. He can
And
catch.
he's a little athletic for a tight end as well. Like, as far as
Yeah,
speed.
yeah. So that bodes great for him. But when I see a in route that ends up 5 yards deeper than where he cut at, it's
Yeah.
and plays are not written on a sheet necessarily to be ran exactly how they are, but they
It's
have
supposed to be
sharp
kind of
corners.
close.
They
Yeah.
should have sharp corners for a reason. Those cuts and stuff help out the quarterback. Was it the? I think it was yesterday. No, it may have been in the Raiders game, but either way, there was a pass that he threw to Mike G that was kind of a. It looked like on live TV. It looked like a crossing route because of how deep Mike G ended up. But when you watched all 22, he's running an in route, a deep dig basically,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and about a 15, 10, 12, 15 yard dig
Hmm.
and runs up. And when he cuts up, he cuts across. He doesn't cut it sharp. He rounds it to start
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
So he's already, if he was supposed to be at 10, he's at 12. And then as he's looking at Tua, he's drifting back and the linebacker is staying under him where he needed to be cutting under that guy to be basically open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you're forcing your quarterback to make a touch throw over the top of this linebacker that's right in front of you. And so, of course, the ball sails and he has to try to jump and make. That's the one that almost got intercepted.
Yep.
That was the Raiders game. And,
Yep.
of course, he has to jump and save it because, bro, you can't be that far back. You got to cut down and get under here, fight the defender. I get that getting open is the key, but beating the defender is part of getting open. Like,
Yeah.
you got to be where you need to be. Like,
True.
and you got to beat him to that spot. And that's the only gripe I have with Mike G. I love Mike G though.
I
Like,
would
I love his
agree,
attitude and everything.
but my only point to that would be how many good route running tight ends in the league are there? Not many.
I'll give you that. I'll give
Like,
you that.
how many good tight end, really good tight ends would you say are in the league? Like 6. Like, you got really really good tight ends. I'd say like Kittle, Kelsey, Waller. I'd give it to Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And Mike G's up there with the bottom of that crowd.
And you know what? Even though he doesn't
So
get attention because it's Detroit, I'll put T.J. Hawkinson in that too.
okay, I would agree with that. I would agree with TJ. The little bit of film I have watched on TJ was really good. So like the only things I put Mike G near the bottom of that list though.
Would be route running.
And
Oh yeah. On the list of players we just said, he is absolutely on the bottom of that. I agree.
And so basically for me, and this is not something that he can't improve. Route running is something that can definitely be improved. So if he can get that up, I think he has the potential to be in that top 5. He has the skill set.
Absolutely.
And the one thing I think that's holding him back outside of quarterbacks, because we haven't been consistent with who's throwing him the ball right now. But outside of that is the route running. Now, that very well could be a product of the way Fitz threw the ball. Hey, get behind him. I'll throw it up. You out jump him and catch it. And Tua's not built that way. Tua's built to run the playbook,
precision.
son. Yeah, he's built to run the playbook. Yes.
So, like I said at one point too, I can't remember if I said it on recording or just talking to you. I think that this offense is still built for Fitz. I don't think that the receivers we have are meant for Tua. I really don't. I think this was off camera because I compared it to Dak Prescott's situation. I remember that. And him not being good with Dez Bryant because
Yeah, and it
He's
does.
not a throw it up guy either.
No, he's not. I want to not necessarily see my guy open. Like that's the one thing Tua's got to get by.
Yep.
And you got to know they're about to be open.
Yep. Anticipation.
Yeah, you got to know that. But he was good at that in college, so I think that'll get better. But
I
anyway,
agree.
um, yeah, that the offense doesn't really get along with Tua necessarily because of that reason. I'm not
I agree.
throwing up 50. He does. Tua admits that himself. He don't like 50-50 ball.
No, he
Like
doesn't.
if my guy's not open guy, I'm not throwing it. And that means if he's covered, I'm not throwing it. So I'm not throwing a 50-50 ball. I want at least 75%. Damn it.
Yeah, and if you look at the receivers he had in college, he had Jerry Jeudy, he had Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Henry Ruggs. Two of them, Jeudy and Smith, are very nuanced route runners who create space, like the guy I want. Yeah. And the other two are fast as shit and just outrun everybody and create separation that way. So he's not used to these big body receivers. He didn't even really throw to tight ends like that in college. That's why Irv Smith fell to the Vikings like he did.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and he had route runners, and obviously, a lot of people hold that against Tua that he had all those guys, and that's
agreed.
So-called what made him look good. But I hate to break it to people, it's a two-way thing. Your receivers don't look good when you have a shitty quarterback, and your quarterback don't look good when you have shitty receivers.
Agreed. And Alabama doesn't recruit bad players very often.
No.
Because they don't recruit, they just pick people at this point.
Yeah.
They can just go get whoever the hell they want.
Yeah, Saban just shows up and knocks on the door. Hey, you're coming to Alabama.
Yeah, basically.
All right, let's
move on.
O-line.
Oh yeah, O-line. Yeah.
O-line.
God, that's a lot of money on Eric Flowers, dude.
Wow, we got him for a while.
I want to trade him for a washing machine if he's making that. I don't care what it is. I'll take
Maytag.
I'll take a Magic Johnson condom. Just get rid of him.
Oh man, but it's been bad. I mean,
yep.
The craziest part is it started out good.
Yeah.
It started out so good. It was like, man, look, Eric Flowers is winning. He's doing like that. That was a great pickup. And by the time we were at, I would say game 6, 7, we were like, what is he doing?
Dude, like for real, like I was even like telling myself like off camera, like, hell yeah, Eric Flowers, prove me wrong that you have improved since the Giants days. He hasn't. he just I don't know what the hell happened. I can't even explain it. Well, then again, they couldn't block for the run even then, but they could at least pass protect.
Yeah.
It seemed like Austin Jackson regressed throughout the season too, to be honest.
Which was surprising.
Yeah.
Which was really surprising. Like what I was talking about earlier, that take the inside step first. He started out good.
Yep.
Started out staying set, keeping his feet good. Obviously, there were things to work on, but he was keeping his feet good. Base was decent. He had his feet under him, and was hitting guys in the chest. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got beat a few times and like lost the confidence and just started trying too hard, so to speak.
Yeah.
But
I'm not going to lie. To me, the person that I have the most confidence in this offensive line makes the least amount of money, and that's Solomon Kinley. Besides Adam Pankey, because he's not going to be here.
Yeah.
He can go.
Solomon Kinley's going to make a great guard. He has the size, the strength, the feet, and the attitude. Yep. Guard takes attitude.
Yep.
Hey, don't get me wrong. Tackle, any offensive line or defensive line for that matter takes attitude. But guard especially. Guard takes attitude, man.
Yeah, because you got to go one-on-one with like the Aaron Donalds of the world. Like you, that's a different breed. And it comes to you quick.
And not only that, like tackle is more expected to pass block more or less. You know what I mean? You expect your tackle to make a few run blocks, get out there in the run game, but for the most part, you draft a tackle, you sign a tackle to pass block,
Yep.
right? Keep somebody from flying in the edge. The guard is asked to do both of those, like top 100. Like nobody likes their guard if he's only a pass blocker or if he's only a run blocker.
Yep.
You've got to do both, and it it takes a lot of attitude and grit to be able to take and not only keep a guy from just getting to your to just not just keep Aaron Donald from getting to your quarterback. Not only that, I'm going to move him on a run
Yep.
play. Like
Yep.
I'm going to move him out of the way. That takes a lot. Like
So
that
like
takes a lot of grit, even if you fail at
yeah.
it.
So like a lot of people still have this old mentality because it used to be a kind of mentality. They have this idea that tackles are just the superior offensive line position, and that's not the case. I don't think any of them are superior. I think they're all just different. I
They are very different positions. I
I
don't think any one of them superior. If I had to pick one, I would say center because
I'll get
it's
to
going to
that.
take a little bit of everything to be a good center. You've got to be a good communicator. You got to be a good reader. If you're
So
going to be a top center, that is.
true. If you're gonna be like a top of the line center, I'd probably agree with you. But for me, tackle, it's more about you got to have at least a little bit of athleticism because you're up against twitchy edge rushers.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Your feet have to be top notch. You have to at least be strong enough to not die. But outside of that, you don't need to be as powerful as a guard.
Yeah,
Guard, it's all about power. The feet are important, but it's more about the hand placement and the power than anything else and just whooping their ass. Center, you called it in particular, it is the communication over everything else.
yeah,
Because to me, a center, if he's struggling, if he communicates well, he can get past being bad at blocking because you can get a guard to come over and help you. If you're struggling as a, and that's why I think guard is a little tougher because if a tackle is struggling, they can put the tight end over there or the running back to chip. If a guard is struggling, that's your S. You're just up one on
your
one with
only
whoever you
yeah.
got.
Usually, your only hope at guard would be maybe the center's freed up on this play and can come
Yeah,
help me.
but anything consistent, you can't plan for it.
Yeah, you can't plan for anything consistent because he might have to go help the other guard.
Yeah,
And in our situation this year, he didn't know who to help. I there's a lot of people that really don't like Ted Karras and but Ted Karras was in a rough spot, and I'm not saying his film was good. I'm not nowhere near
yep, I
saying
agree.
that his film was average at best. Ted Karras
I agree.
now, but he was put in a tough situation.
Yes.
Like you're trying to communicate with three rookies
Three rookies and Eric Flowers, who
and Eric
just stands
Flowers
straight up.
in and out of the lineup. He's getting switched out. At certain points of the game, you had two rookies right beside Ted Karras.
The Yeah, I agree. The only thing I will say about Ted Karras though is you mentioned it too. Communication. The communication on this offensive line is the worst part of this offensive line.
That I will agree, and that's where I was getting at with that is that's hard to put that all on Ted Karras
I agree.
because of what's around him. You know
I
what I
agree.
mean? Like, but either way, a lot of it falls on Ted Karras. It's the same way as throwing an interception. At the end of the day, they put that on the quarterback. So
Agreed. Well, this is his last year on his contract. We only signed him to a 1 year deal. What would you do with Ted Karras?
see, personally, obviously draft videos, a different video, but everybody already knows this one. Panay, is it Panay Sewell? Sewell?
Panay Sewell.
Panay Sewell is a great center prospect. Personally, I would like to see if Ted Karras would come back as a backup and a mentor to Panay Sewell if we can get him.
Well, here's the thing. He's not a center. He's a
I thought he
ta-
was the center.
No, he's a tackle right now, but I want him to play guard.
Oh, I thought. Why was I thinking he was a center?
Yeah, there really ain't any great centers. That's why I'm thinking maybe. Well, you know
Okay.
what? Let me not incriminate myself by saying there ain't no good centers. I ain't that far into the process yet. Uh,
Okay. I got you.
I've been looking at
Uh,
a lot of guards.
I don't know why I was thinking he was center. Maybe I saw something that was or misread something or something. I thought he was a center. So
No.
in that case, yeah, we might need him.
Yeah.
Depends on what
What
free
kind of
agents
contract
are
he's
out there
and what kind
and
of
what.
contract he's looking at.
Yeah, if we can get him for another 3 mil, take him.
I agree.
Even if he does end up as your veteran mentor at three
Yeah,
mil for a center, like okay,
because it doesn't show up here because he's a guard slash center. But our if we let him go, our only center is Michael Dieter, and I ain't trying to do that. I want to push Michael Dieter off the
no,
tallest of bridges. He can go.
he can.
I'll
I
eat that.
saw I saw one good game out of Dieter, and that was when Kinley went
Yeah.
down,
When Kelly went
and
down,
and he immediately came in the game and got straight bench press. My man came off the line and whop out like
I laughed my ass
he
off.
was. Oh
I
my
was dying because
god!
my eyes were locked onto him
Yeah,
too.
he recovered pretty decent on that play though. He didn't like just go straight to his ass, but
Yeah.
like it was terrible. Like boom, you just saw him shoot back off the line. It was oh my god. But that was first play, and after that he got more and more. But
Yeah.
we evaluate players in a full body of work type thing. So everything we can see, and so out of full body of work, Michael Dieter's got to go.
Yeah. I might even eat that just to get
I
rid
would
of
eat
him.
that. I would eat that because you can get somebody else in here
Yep.
and save your like Coach Flores because he's a Coach of the Year candidate. There'll be players that want to come here just because that they'll save you
Yep.
that $1 million. They'll do you that favor.
Yeah. You think Julian Davenport can go? I think he can go. I don't. I ain't interested.
Honestly, my full opinion. This will give you basically the way I feel about the whole O line. Terry Karras is probably the only veteran I actually would want to keep. Jesse Davis maybe as a backup.
If I can get rid of Jesse Davis, I will.
Yes.
Definitely Eric Flowers. Out of everybody, I want to find a way to get rid of him the most, just because of
Get
that.
rid of that contract.
Yeah.
Trade him off.
If we can trade
Take a
him for
low pick.
literally anything, I don't care
Yeah,
what it is.
give me a fifth, sixth,
You can
seventh
give
as
me
a
some trash running back I can cut. I'll do it and I'll eat that contract instead.
yes. If you just eat the contract. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with that. But like literally everybody else and the only reason for Karras is basically backup center and good decent veteran. Like been in the league for a while and on a
Yeah.
good team. Uh
I feel like if we have to start Karras next year because we just can't get a center, I feel okay about that
yeah.
versus
So
Dieter.
so I say get rid of all anybody that wasn't a rookie this year
Yeah.
and bring in whether it be through free agency and or but really both. Bring in a couple guys free agency. If you can get somebody really good, I don't know who's out there yet. We're gonna do that in a different video. Um, I don't know who's out there yet, but if you get somebody really good uh, to take those spots, do it. If you can't get a draft that position. I like young guys learning something to get come in here and that could because you when you get it out of the draft, you never know what you got. Look at Solomon Kinley. He was what our fourth pick
Yep.
overall.
Yep. Um. So this is why I want to resign Ted Karras because I'm. It's not on the channel too much yet, but right now where I'm recording, I am heavy into offensive line right now. I'm
Gotcha.
not too far into center, but from what I've seen, it's not a great class. So that's why I want to resign Ted. But if you need a guard, there are plenty of guards in the later rounds that can at
And the
least be
thing
serviceable.
is there usually are
Yeah, like
guard is a position that you can pick up in the draft almost every year.
yep. There just
Um,
usually ain't that many tackles and centers,
yeah, exactly. Not good ones anyway.
and that's the thing too. Why people are wanting Penny Sewell to play tackle because that is what he plays right now. And I do think he's a good tackle, but I think he would be one of the best guards in the NFL day one. But he'd be cool at tackle. So I don't know. We'll see. If we
I mean,
draft him,
if it comes down to him or Robert Hunt, I'm probably taking him at tackle over Robert Hunt.
I would too.
I
I,
think I need Robert Hunt to move back inside.
I agree. Um, what I would probably do is I'd probably if we do draft him, um, I would probably start him at right tackle right now, or even maybe even left tackle because I might like Robert Hunt better than Austin Jackson right now. That might be real. That might be a thing.
Yeah, Austin Jackson needs some work.
Yeah, he does. Because at least Robert Hunt is strong. Austin Jackson, he's not really showing me anything I like right now. But who knows? Maybe he'll develop. I hope so.
Yeah, and everybody watching this, don't get either one of us wrong. We are Fins fans
Yep.
for life. We
I want all
just
these people
giving
to
our
succeed if they're
opinion.
here.
Yeah, we're only giving our opinions on these guys. If we end up with the exact same line next year, it's go these guys. Like, like we win. That's all we want.
Exactly. I
We
always
want to
have.
see good tape.
Yep. I always have the philosophy that I'd rather win than be right. So.
Exactly.
You good on O line? I think I
I'm
am.
good on O line.
D line and linebackers where things get interesting. We'll get to linebacker in a minute. I guess I'll do this though because some of these linebackers are edge rushers
Yeah.
like Van Ginkel.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about
Can
edge
we
rushers.
keep Van Ginkel at that contract? I'm great.
Oh yeah, he's making like
Jesus.
$42.
Yeah, Jesus. All right. Anyway, D line.
Shaq Lawson, we got him till 2022. That's great. I'm actually okay
Um,
with that contract too.
and I'm okay with that contract.
That's fine.
That's
Agba,
half of an elite pass rusher.
yep. Um, Agba, that's
They're
fine.
gonna have if he does anything,
Close to what he just did. We're gonna have to re-sign him.
you at that, and it's gonna have to go up.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to stay there. Now, he may be because he loves coach. He
Hopefully,
had
I hope
offer.
so.
He was one of the players that had offers in other places and loved coach and was like, I want to go play for him.
Yep.
But he may would give you that decent contract, kind of like Shaq Lawson has or something.
Yeah.
And in that case, that would probably be doable.
Yep. So I'm cool with that. Luckily, most of our D linemen are here. Besides,
Gotcha. Ooh, that's an interesting question too. I haven't thought about Gotcha in a while. Isn't that amazing?
yeah, because he's
That's
been
one of
out all
our
year.
best defensive players coming into this year, and our defense played so well even without him out. You just like forgot about it.
I kind of want to let him walk. To be honest with you.
And I'm gonna agree with you, and that's no fault of
Yeah,
Gotcha. I love Gotcha,
I like him
but
too.
and his film is great. He is a monster, but it's contract time.
That and Raekwon Davis and Christian Wilkins splitting time at nose tackle's been good, and nose tackle is one of the easiest positions to find in the draft.
Yeah, and like you said, him and Wilkins have been a great team pair in the center of that defense,
Yeah,
especially when we line up that we call it a 3-4 because you list Lawson sometimes as an outside linebacker, or you send Van Ginkel off the edge, but it's
yeah,
pretty much a 4-3.
yep.
You got four down guys,
It's basically
and
a
when we
4-3 with two people standing up instead of
yeah,
down.
and so when you put those guys down there in that position, they have been a great duo at that. They are eating guards lunch, and I I hate when I see that our defensive tackles suck. We need a nose tackle and this and that in the draft. We need a new nose tackle, and I'm like, we don't have a true nose tackle, and I'm like, I wouldn't say that, like, because like a true nose tackle. If everybody wants to know what a true nose tackle does, they get double teamed.
Yeah,
They
I
eat
can
double
draft a
teams
fat
and
kid to sit
triple
in the middle
teams.
of the line.
Yeah, they eat double teams and triple teams. That's what true nose tackles do. Christian Wilkins has been doing that all year long, eating
Eh,
double team. He demands a double team. Have you guys seen Christian Wilkins get blocked one on one?
ex- Exactly.
Have you? I haven't seen it.
Nope.
I haven't even seen him try
Nope.
it. They're
And
putting a center and a guard on him every time.
yep. And a lot of times they put Raekwon Davis there if Wilkins ain't there. And look at this contract that Raekwon Davis has.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
There's a dude right now. That video's not out yet. I recorded it this morning. Jordan Davis, dude, D tackle out of Georgia. There's a better nose tackle out there, but I think this guy could fall a little more. He is unmovable. You can find a fat kid to stick in the middle of your defense.
Yeah, and like my point to saying that was I don't see for one why we don't have one.
Yeah.
And for two, like why we need one. Like we got guys eating double teams and stuff. We need the linebackers and everything to step up into the right gap and hit the guy. Yeah. Like that's what we need, and our defensive ends to play the right gap.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need.
And also, is it Sealer or Siler? I've heard it pronounced both ways a million times.
When I hear it on TV, they say Siler.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We re-signed him, and this is his contract. That is gorgeous. That's after a re-signing. That is gorgeous.
That is beautiful. All the way to 2023 too.
Yeah.
That is a nice contract. Big ups to Greer, man.
Yeah, man.
And Flores, because like I know that Flores doesn't have anything to do with the actual contract and the dollar amount and all of that. I know he doesn't. He even says he's like, bro, that's a Greer question.
Yeah. But I guarantee it's a big part of their decision to stay here for cheaper.
Exactly. Like there's a reason why guys are willing to sign that low of a contract when they were producing the way Sealer was producing. Like if you don't think he could have went out and got $5 million from another team easily, yeah, like he wants to be here. So,
and actually, we got Jason Strowbridge real cheap till 2023. I feel really good about him too if he has to come in and play.
I feel good about it. Just didn't see much this year.
I'd like to see him gain a little bit of weight just because of the system we run. But he's a really good run stopper. At least he was on film in college.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty good about Jason Strowbridge. This whole D-line, I think I feel pretty good about. Benito Jones, we still got him another year. Same with Ledbetter. That's just a little bit of extra depth, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Ledbetter too much. Benito, I've seen a little bit of. But.
Ledbetter, I only know about him from Georgia. He's cool. He's a decent 3-4 defensive end. Not very athletic at all, but he can set the edge for you a little bit. So he's not too terrible.
Gotcha.
But he's mostly a practice squad guy.
Yeah, it would surprise me that if those guys weren't there just so they could bring in new guys. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me either. But I'm also cool with keeping him as depth depending on what happens.
Definitely. We haven't seen him, so.
Yeah. Benito Jones, I'm not that big on. He's cool. He's a cool little... again, just because I think that nose tackle ain't that valuable. If I got to sit Benito Jones in the middle of the defense for a game and him just eat up blocks, I'm cool with that.
Eat up double teams. If everybody else does their job, that's all they need to do.
Yeah, I don't need to do anything else. That's fine. He's big enough.
Yeah.
He's a nose. So, I'm cool with that, too. If we're stuck with Benito Jones. Especially because he ain't going to get that many snaps anyway, because Wilkins and Davis do it most of the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty solid on the line. I think Godchild gets going. I would love to keep him if he signs a good contract, but.
I don't want him at this point, man. I
let him go take a.
Yeah, because I don't even want him for $2 million, not for like a year. Because I'd rather go draft a guy and have him for $4, because it'd be a later round pick. And have him for cheap. I think we can go get one day 4 and have a pretty good nose.
That's fair.
You good on D-line?
D-line, good.
Linebacker is ugly, man.
Wow.
We need depth bad.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And the problem with linebackers, you can't lose out on depth here because that's also your special teams players.
Yeah, that's a lot of your backup linebackers and backup DBs end up
Yeah. So I am
and even
100% trying to draft somebody at linebacker at some point. Maybe not high, but we at least need to address it.
definitely need to, or off season or
We need to
free
pick someone up too.
off season. We need to pick up a couple guys, even if it's not the biggest signing. We don't have to go after
We
the
need depth,
highest
guys.
price guy or whatever. We need depth. I trust Flores to get the most out of whoever he signs. Like,
Yep. What do you do with a Landon Roberts?
what was his injury?
What is his injury? Well, I thought that for some reason I thought that would work. I'm not sure what his injury is. Wait, it was an ACL tear. That's what it is.
ACE. Ew. That's
And
a tough one then. Because he played well for the most part.
yep,
In the run game, not
yep.
great.
He's a, yeah, yeah. I kind of feel that way about him and Jerome Baker. I think they both have similar issues. Actually, I like them
Yeah,
both. Luckily, we still got Jerome on another year for
yeah.
dirt cheap.
Jerome's a little more athletic too,
Yep.
as far as like just opening up the speed.
I think they both have a tendency to miss with their eyes a little bit, though. That's my
Yes.
big thing, and they get themselves out of position trying to play hero ball. Um,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, Micah Parsons is like the linebacker that everyone's talking about, but he's basically just a better Jerome Baker because he has the exact same problems. Athletic as hell, his eyes ain't there.
I got you. Yeah, you need a linebacker, especially if you're gonna line him up as middle linebackers.
Yeah.
As have got to be in the right spot. We've seen
Yep.
plenty of guys that aren't what you would call athletic for a linebacker um that come in the league and make hella noise, and that's because their eyes are in the right spot. Luke Kuechly,
Yep. And that's the
he
thing
was
too.
he was not the fastest. He don't get me wrong. He can move sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
He's gonna get there on the tackle, but it's because his
His
first
eyes.
step was in the right direction. Like
Yep.
he didn't have to run a 4-3 to get back to the other side of the field like Jerome Baker does a lot of times. Jerome Baker gets there because he's fast,
Yeah.
but he took the wrong first three steps. Like,
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, guys. With Micah Parsons, he is athletic, um, and he does seem like he's going to be a good player. But people are comparing him to a Luke Kuechly, to a Bobby Wagner coming out, and that's insane to me. You have to have all
I
those
haven't,
traits.
yeah, I haven't evaluated him yet. Yeah, I'm early in the draft tape
Yeah,
process, but yeah,
that's
I don't know
crazy.
about that one. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that's insane. Because if you're going to be in that conversation, you have to have the athleticism. You have to have it all, and he doesn't. And to be fair, he no, not many do.
Yeah, like that it's almost unfair to the kid anyway. Like,
Yeah,
even if he did have those traits, it's almost unfair to be, oh, that's the next Luke Kuechly. Like, that's unfair.
yeah.
Like, you
Like
know how good Luke Kuechly was.
yeah,
Like,
they're doing it right now to this dude Jalen Twyman. I just did a video on him today too. He's a undersized three tech from Pitt. So because he's an undersized three tech from Pitt, they're calling him the next Aaron Donald, which is insane. I don't know about all that. He looks whatever. I don't want to get into that.
yeah.
That might be a later conversation. But
Yeah, I will just say I doubt it.
yeah, he's not. He's not.
I doubt
He's cool. He's okay.
it.
But
So, uh, this is another one of those things. It wouldn't surprise me if Jerome Baker was not on the team next year, trade asset wise. Like, if they traded him. Now,
yeah,
obviously, he's not unrestricted, but this is where trades get made, guys. It's that 1 to 2 years left. Like,
yep.
they don't wait until they're on. You can't wait till he's in the UFA green zone
Yeah,
to
because
trade. So
then they can just wait.
yeah, then they get nothing out of it. So
Yeah.
and trust me, a team wants to get something if they can. So it is very possible. And it's not that Jerome Baker's been bad. I just think that Flo may go into this and be like, I can get a better guy for my system.
Yeah, for sure. Would you be opposed to, because we have 2 draft picks in the first round? Um, would you be opposed to drafting a linebacker with our pick, the 19th overall?
I mean that kind of depends on what we do with the third overall. But just we'll say we get who we want at third. Yeah, I'm good with that. I personally would want a receiver at that point, late first, early second,
Yeah,
to get a good guy. But I would not be mad at linebacker at that point because that's where you get the good ones of those two. Like this, it's hard to get a great inside backer
I
at
agree.
late in the draft.
Um, Also, what I want to do, I want to trade that 3rd overall pick. I want to trade down for sure. Because
I do too, but that's because I think Sewell's going to be gone. I think the Jets are taking him. So,
to me,
unfortunately,
if the Jets take him, I definitely want out. I don't like anybody outside of quarterback at number 3 if Sewell's gone.
yeah, and I think it would be a little bit unless Flores has seen that Tua's not the guy.
Yeah.
I I'm not I'm not cool with drafting a quarterback to say this is competition for Tua. Like
No, 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 no.
if you
Not in
drafted another quarterback at 3, then that means we're moving on from Tua.
Yep,
Like
I 100% agree with you.
so if you do that, then
We got to get rid of Tua at that point.
yeah. So but if basically your guys, if Sewell's gone at that point, I definitely want to trade back. I don't want to take anybody at 3 that I see so far. A lot of people are calling for one of those wide receivers at 3, and I'm like, there's not a Calvin Johnson in this draft.
No, there's not.
There's
But
some really good ones. There are some really good
yeah,
ones.
and
But
that's why I want to trade out. My thing is,
and receivers don't normally cost. The reason I said Calvin Johnson is because Calvin Johnson's one of those guys that was, top pick. Like he could have been. Was he not top pick? Was he first round, first overall?
he might have been. If not, it was close.
Yeah, he was definitely top 5 pick of his year. So like, there's only a few receivers that ever
Agreed.
get that high. Like, especially with in a year with multiple receivers, they're gonna drop because of that.
I agree. That's why I do want to trade up. I mean, I want to trade back. To me, even if the Jets do go quarterback and Sewell's available, I like Sewell a lot, but he would be my safety blanket if we can't trade out. Because let me tell you, there ain't no defensive player in this class worth taking in the top 5 to me. There ain't no like there's no Chase Youngs. There ain't no Myles Garrett's. They just don't exist in this class. So unless you're gonna go quarterback, Sewell is cool, but if Sewell's gone and we can't trade out, I would go receiver just because I don't like the pick, but at least I know we're getting a really good player at a position of need.
Okay.
But I would like to trade.
At that point, you better be getting the best receiver there is in there.
It ain't my game plan. My game plan is to trade it now.
Yeah.
Um,
I got you.
But that's only if we get stuck and Sewell is gone.
And warning Finn fans. All right. I know there's a press conference coming tomorrow. If you hear Flores or Greer say that they're not sure if Tua's the guy, that does not mean that Tua's not the guy. This is how you make this draft pick more valuable. If you make them think that you want one of these quarterbacks, that draft pick, it automatically costs more because they have to pay for you wanting him too. They had to pay you enough to say, all right, I'll leave Fields there for you. And because you're going to give me enough to compensate for that. And that's what they want, even if they don't want Fields. So they may very well say that all offseason long.
Yep, and that goes for outside of just Tua. They're going to throw smoke screens in every direction that they can if they think it's going to benefit them in the draft or in free agency. So, just be aware of that. Just be aware
Yeah,
of that now. It's
just be
gonna
aware
happen.
that unless he comes out and just declares that Tua's
Tua's
not the
gone.
guy. Yeah, and he declares that, then you already know what's happening. But
Yeah, yeah. You don't need us for that at that
he's
point.
more than likely going to come out and say, "Oh, we still got to evaluate the tape. We've got a lot of things to look at." We got just like he always does. He's not going
Yep.
to tell you anything, even if he
Agreed.
knows.
Let me tell you right now though, if we can trade back and get an additional first round pick, that 19th overall, Nick Bolton. I know you're not far into this draft at all. He is a guy I really like at linebacker out of Missouri. He's not as athletic, but let me tell you, it is so refreshing watching him. He's got the eyes and he just plays his gap and does his job well and he punches people in the mouth. That's all I
And
need in a linebacker.
and that's a Brian Flores guy
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
all he
That
does.
what you described is what Brian Flores pretty much wants out of every defender. I want you
Yep,
to do your spot, play your gap,
and punch
and
someone
hit
in the mouth.
anybody that comes in here in the mouth. Like,
Yep, I love him. He's not gonna be as flashy, and because of that, he might have a chance to fall because he's not that athletic. So if he's there, I'm running to that stage to take him. I'm sprinting.
yeah. So, Landon Roberts,
Yeah,
it's hard with the injury. Beagle's hard with the injury. It
Beagle
wouldn't
can
surprise me
go.
if they let him go. Beagle can go. Pretty much, it's NFL's a what have you done lately league,
Yeah,
and he hasn't done anything lately, and
nope.
that's unfortunate. Last year he looked pretty decent after the trade that we made for him. So
Yep.
like, but
And with the injuries, Van Ginkel and Van Noy both proved that they can play inside linebacker and do a comparable job, and we have them. So I think
yeah,
that gives us a little bit of wiggle room, and we have more guys for edge.
yep.
So,
So
I,
yeah, I'm with getting rid of. Personally, let's just get rid of both of them. Both of
Landon
those
and
guys.
Beagle.
Yeah, just let them go and just go ahead and pick up some more assets.
What about Kruger
For
Hill? He can go for me. He's a special
real.
teams guy.
Yeah, he was in the game a few times and I
Yeah,
liked what I saw, but if you keep him for depth, I'm okay with that because he did stay healthy, played hard. But I wouldn't be mad if we let him go.
now I will.
We need some depth, so you might have to keep one or two of these guys. That
I agree.
you might have to
Um,
sign one of these guys, but I think we can pick up plenty. There, I just think there'll be plenty of guys that Brian Flores likes in
I
free
agree.
agency that will want to play for him, like
I agree.
especially when it comes to the defensive side. Like,
One thing I will say too, if I was to keep one, it would be a Landon Roberts, and I'm hoping that maybe they can kind
okay,
of play off of one, the whole Brian Flores thing, and two, hey man, you just tore your ACL, so we need to sign you for cheaper. And if we can get a Landon Roberts for cheap, I'm all here. I'm here for it.
hey, if we can sign another $2 million contract, I would take
I'm
that.
totally fine to take a
Yeah, I
Landon
would take
Roberts one.
that. I don't want to pay him anymore.
Nope. If
Um,
if it goes up
maybe
and
up to three,
if
four,
it
but
if it goes higher than that,
yeah,
he can go.
yeah,
So Calvin Munson can go too.
yeah. We just let him go and replace him with a new rookie, 6th round rookie or
Yeah,
something.
I think we can replace him with an undrafted guy to play special teams.
Yeah, definitely.
So you good on linebacker?
Good on linebacker. I want to say this though. I think we're not on linebacker, but this goes for any position. I think we're going to see a lot of undrafted
I agree.
free agents. It not saying necessarily make the team, but I think during off season training camp, all of that, we're going to see a lot of signings of undrafted guys and stuff just to bring them in, run them through the ropes, and see what they do.
To be fair, I think at places like linebacker, I think that they have a chance to not only make the team but potentially play for this team a little bit.
If they go out there and do their thing, man,
Yep.
yeah. Coach Flo has shown that he don't care what you make.
Yep.
He don't care what your money says. He will
Exactly.
pull you the hell up out of there quick.
So
AKA Tua, and that's not even a shot at Tua, but if Flo says you ain't getting it done, you coming out. I don't care what position you play. If he'll
agreed.
pull a quarterback, he'll pull anybody.
Agreed. So, DB is fairly straightforward to me. Like, look at Byron and X.
And we have to talk about this at this point because X wants
Uh-huh.
yeah. I personally think he wants to match Byron. I don't I don't know that he's going into this thing trying to get over the top guy, although I would expect it because I mean, you can't even be mad at him at this point for wanting that.
Nope.
Like this is his time to get paid. When you have a season like that, it's your time to get paid.
Absolutely. Eat while you can.
Exactly. So I'm not mad at him on this one.
For me, if he
What
wants,
would you want to do?
if he just wants to match Byron, I'll do it. I have no problem doing that because I think X is a little better than, not a little. I think he's quite a bit better than Byron. I do like Byron. I just feel that strongly about X.
Okay. I mean, you see what I got back here, so
Yeah.
can't.
However, I don't want to get too crazy on a corner. We did draft Noah Igbinoghene. I feel pretty good about him.
Yeah, that's where I get nervous. Not Igbinoghene. He was a rookie this year, guys. I'm not worried about what he did. He showed improvement. He showed improvement throughout the year. When he had his chances to, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't want to go crazy and sign X to nothing crazy.
No.
If they can somehow, I've heard this through the wire, so to speak, that it's possible for us to raise like his signing bonus or something to match, like to get him to the highest paid corner without it going on our books, basically, without it hitting the cap space. I don't know how that's possible. I don't
If
know
they
if
can
that's
find a
possible.
way to pull that move off, then
But it was
absolutely do
something
it.
about basically just restructuring the guaranteed money in the contract that he already has. Because his problem is he doesn't have any more guaranteed money outside, like big money, basically. You know what I mean?
I'm good with working with him on that.
So if all it takes is signing a little more guaranteed money to him and it doesn't hurt your cap space, I'm all for that.
And
Then
even if it hurts it a little bit, I'm okay with it.
yeah, definitely take a small hit for the man. The man just pulled off a 10 interception
Yeah, man.
season for us. Give him a little
If
something, something.
if we get a match Byron, I'm totally cool with that. Even if we got to go a little past Byron, I don't know where my cap would be where I say no,
Yeah.
but it exists. I just don't know where. Because let me tell you, lockdown corner might be even rarer than a good quarterback.
Yeah. So in that regard, I'd like X a lot better this year as far as lockdown. He had proven he can be locked down. Like because he takes chances though. That's
Yep.
what everybody asks and everybody wonders why is that why is Byron not getting interceptions? Byron's locking down his dude. And that's why they're not throwing it there because he is all over his dude. And so they're not even going to try to throw it. They see him all over him. When they look the X's side, the guy looks open
Yeah.
because X is playing with him.
Yeah.
And then X knows his athleticism and then just makes a great play on the ball and catches it. Usually outside of like the Tyreek Hill interception,
Yeah.
it's usually him baiting the quarterback, and
Yeah.
that gets dangerous though. You're gonna get burnt sometimes.
Of course.
But
Of
this
course.
year it really didn't bite him, but what, once or twice.
Yeah. But to be fair, I think the really speedy receivers give Byron fits too. He's had problems with people like Nelson Aguilar. John Brown slaughtered him this week.
Yeah. So Byron Jones is my guy for your typical number one receiver.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Even in Dallas, he was the guy to shut down Michael Thomas to compete with Julio. Like he's that guy. He's gonna compete with that number
Agreed.
one guy because he's got speed and everything like that. It's those little small agile guys that give him super problems. Like somebody what you would expect Jakeem Grant to have grown into is the type of guy that gives Jones problems.
Yeah. I agree. Even people like Nuke Hopkins, as good as he is, like he plays pretty well against people like him as well.
Yeah.
The big bodied receivers, like he pretty much locks them down.
The good
But
route runners, he does good. Like yeah, because Nuke is a great route runner, but he sticks right with him on that. But it's not a guy that can just outrun him. Like Byron's fast, but like he's not running a 4.4 like every
nope,
day. Like he's
nope.
just not there. He's more of a, like a 4.5, 4.6 guy. And so
Yeah,
yeah, if he gets beat off the line by John Brown, he's left,
gone.
and that's what happened. Like well, he kind of bit on a little pump fake, and
Yeah, that
then
too.
and then like he ain't catching up to him. He doesn't have that. Like
Nope.
where X, I don't think X even has a fast 40 time. To be honest, I think X in his
I think he's gotten faster in the league. To be honest with you,
I
kind of
think
like
his
Antonio Brown.
yeah, his combine time was like a 4.5, I want to say.
Yeah, but he definitely plays faster than that.
He plays faster than that, and it's like it's what I used to have when I played football. It was like ball in the air speed. Like I could run as hard as I wanted to, and I could run with guys, and I could even outrun certain people. But when the ball got launched into the air, man, I could outrun everybody for some
Yeah,
reason. It was just
yeah, yeah.
and so I think that's what X has, and they call it makeup speed is what they call it. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you want to call it, but he's got it.
But
So
again, it just depends on how much money he's asking for. If
yeah,
it's crazy,
yeah. If
we
he's
should
trying to
be
get 25, bro, just hey, bro,
25 a year.
who wants to
Can we get
trade?
a first round pick?
Yeah,
Anybody that's not a division opponent?
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, that's just kind of how I feel. But if it's like, uh,
You probably had to get him to 20. It's probably what that would
it
be called. It
I'd
would
be
look
okay
like
with 20.
Byron's on the books, but
I'd be okay with 20.
yeah.
But I don't know if I'd go much higher than that.
I know, but man, you imagine two $20 million corners on the outside, which is what we have now. So
Basically,
it's just we ain't paying
yeah, 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 because they're
it.
both worth it. It's just
Yeah,
you usually don't have them on the same team.
yeah, exactly. Shoot. Now, safeties, man.
Well, before we get to safety, let's finish off corner.
Okay.
Because we got Noah Igbenogany, pretty much going until 2024, because that is the 50-year option there for him. But Nick Needham is up this year.
Ooh.
Luckily,
Eh,
we can have him this year because we talked about what that means.
yeah,
If we just got to pay him another 600,000, I'm keeping him this year for sure.
definitely. If you can keep him for that price, definitely keep him. I even would keep Jamal Perry.
I'd be cool with
Gr-
keeping Jamal Cherry. He's
He,
pretty good on
he
special teams as well.
pretty good special teams. He was the guy that they when they pulled I think it was Needham, wasn't it? They pulled
Yep.
Needham at one point in a game and they put Perry back there.
Yep, and he's fairly solid too.
Yeah, he's
I
pretty
would hang
good.
on to both of them at least this year.
Yep.
And Nick, I might even think about re-signing because I really like him against slot receivers. Not if they're too
Yeah.
fast or big,
Some
but
some of the fans may kill you for that one, but that's because they're living in a moment,
mhm.
in what you saw bad. When you don't see a corner on the screen, that's a good thing.
Yep, yeah, he's not going to make splashy plays for you, and
Well,
you
if
definitely
you
can't have him cover somebody too fast. But
but if you go through a game and you don't hear a corner's name, that's a good thing.
yep, same with offensive line.
Exactly. When you don't hear that name, that's a good thing.
Yep,
It's not the best thing because obviously you hear their name when they get the pick, the pass
yep.
breakup, or whatever. But if you don't hear their name, that means they were covering their guy and the quarterback didn't even try.
But also, how many times a game do you really hear Byron's name? Not much, because you don't
No,
have to.
you don't know. They're not killing Byron like that. He had his bad couple of
Yep.
plays. Really, I won't even say games.
Yeah,
Plays.
agreed. Um, so yeah, I guess we can go back to safety at that.
Yeah. So I'm down with the corners we have.
Bobby
I,
McCain, Eric Rowe, good to go there.
I'm good to go there. I may would try to get another free safety, not necessarily as a starter, but as a replacement plan.
Uh,
just to go
Sure,
ahead and get it started. Like that way you don't have to spend high on it. You don't have to have an already expensive guy, so to speak.
sure.
And I know Brandon Jones is listed at that,
He's a strong safety.
but he's a strong safety.
100%.
Yeah, and so he's our contingency plan for Rowe.
Yep. But unfortunately, free safeties are rare as hell. They don't
Yes,
come around often.
very true. But that's why I want to try start
Agreed.
now. Like I'm not saying let's go get the guy in second, third round necessarily. Hey, we can do it fifth round guy. Like
Agreed.
that's when you do it early enough in the contract, you can afford that. You can afford to
Yeah.
take a fifth round guy and try to go out there. If we wait till 2023, we're gonna be trying to shoot for the first round guy and hope we hit it.
Yeah. 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 I agree. Um, if we can go get a guy to start developing him now, I'd definitely be cool with that. Nate Hawley can definitely go. I ain't trying to hang on to him.
No.
But besides that, I
And
think
Kavon Frazier can.
yes, yeah. He can
Yeah.
go. He can go. He can go.
And I think he's been a good special teams guy though. So
Yeah.
if they keep him for that, if they can sign him to a
Cheap deal.
special teams contract, then yeah.
Yeah. Besides that, I think we're kind of good on DBs.
Oh yeah, I think we're good there. Like I said, at depth maybe as
Yep.
far as I don't see us bringing in any starters. I really don't want to. I think we're good at
Nope.
starting position. Brandon Jones, I think at some point this year, I believe Brandon Jones will be either this coming year will either be highly rotational with Eric Rowe
Or
or
straight up starter.
starting.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, the main thing with Brandon Jones is he's got to work on his coverage skills because Eric Rowe is pretty much a pretty good tight end buster, and Brandon Jones just ain't there yet. But if he can work on that, I think we'll be good to go.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
You ready to move on to special teams and
Yeah,
wrap this
let's
up?
do some special teams. If we don't pay that man,
Jason Sanders.
yes.
Yeah. I'm making sure you weren't talking about Matt Hawk.
No. Hawk, don't get me wrong. I don't
He's
hate
cool,
Hawk.
but he can go.
He's an average punter. Like I mean,
Yeah.
don't he's it now. Last year he was flipping fields.
Yeah.
This year it was up and down. So I wouldn't be mad at them if they signed him to another one, just because like you can have a bad punter. So like
Yeah.
so he's not a bad punter. So
Yeah, I'd be cool with them re-signing him, but Jason Sanders has to be re-signed.
Hey, resign that man now. I don't even
Yep.
want to wait.
I ain't playing around with kicker. They don't come around often at
Nope,
all.
sign
There's like
that
3.
man now. And listen, you don't with kickers, you don't have to sign that much guaranteed money.
Nope.
They can be mostly incentive based
Yep.
at a low guaranteed contract, so we can get out from under it if he just happens to go haywire, like what you call it, the missed 4 field goals in a game the other
Yeah.
week. If he does that, they can still get out from under it. So you just pay him. I won't say pay him near top kicker money.
Yeah.
I don't even know what kicker money is, but
Me
pay it.
neither, but
I know
pay
it ain't. I know it ain't
that crazy.
what he's getting paid now.
No, but it ain't
He's
that
getting
crazy
paid less
either.
than $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely want to re-sign Jason Sanders. Long snapper, we're fine. I ain't trying to worry about long snapper.
No, leave him here.
Blake Ferguson's fine.
Yeah, didn't we draft him this year? And we
Yeah.
got rid of the guy. Y'all gonna hate me for this one because he was on the team forever.
John Denny.
John Denny. That's like he was on the team forever.
Yeah, he was on the team for like 2 decades. It's crazy.
Yeah, he probably shook Marino's hand on the way out the door.
He probably did.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm good there. Any other special teams guys you want to hit on these?
No, man, I think we pretty much covered this pretty well, to be honest.
Gotcha.
I think free agents is a talk for another day. Same with draft, but
Definitely. And yeah, be sure to hit me up, man. If you don't get somebody to join you on one of those, definitely
For
would
sure.
love to do one of those with you as well.
with that, do you have anything you want? Wow, this is almost an hour and a half.
Wow.
Do you have anything you want to say or If not, plug your stuff.
Nah, I'm good on this. Only thing I want to say is, Phins fans, don't be surprised by anything that you see happen to this team,
Yep.
and don't be faked out by what you hear over the next 2 months if he doesn't give actual information. When he beats around the bush, it means he ain't telling you nothing.
Yeah.
So don't go off the haywire if he doesn't say Tua's our starter tomorrow. If he doesn't
Yeah.
say that, it doesn't mean Tua's not the starter. It could very well be smoke screens. So until they draft a quarterback, Tua's our starter.
Yep. Yep. Or if he's just straight up says Tua ain't the guy.
Unless he just comes out and says it.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, guys, check me out over at Phins Huddle on YouTube, and you can follow me over at Phins Huddle on Twitter. I'm not crazy active on Twitter. I'm usually anime. Rob can attest to this. I'm really active during the game.
Yep.
After that, I kind of die off as I start back working on my YouTube stuff. So.
Yep. I'll have the links to his channel and his Twitter in the description below. You have a Facebook too. I don't know if you really mess with that too much.
I don't. It's the same thing though. It's Phins Huddle at Facebook.
I'll put it in there too if they want to follow you there. So.
Good deal.
With that, I think that'll pretty much do it. If you like this video, appreciate hitting that like button. Have any questions?
Hit the like button.
Yep. If you have any questions or comments, leave in the comments down below. Definitely go check out his channel. Hit that sub button, hit that bell button over there. Do all those things that YouTubers tell you to do. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.